Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakal Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, or the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen, but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds, who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalio, and this video is about the Mark of the Beast prophecy, which is a microchip. Alright, so here it is, another update regarding the Mark of the Beast prophecy, and let's just tap into it. So I was on Biometric Update. This is a website that, is very diligent with updating the world regarding biometricupdate.com. And so, it is followed because the system being brought in is, the Mark of the Beast system, which the Mark of the Beast is a microchip, and then all of the systems that are being implemented to allow the microchip to work on the global and mandatory scale that the prophecy says that it will occur on. Okay, so the systems coming in are really the transformation towards a digital society, right? Everything is going cashless. The monetary system is going digital. The central bank digital currencies are being developed because they're not looking to use cash anymore, because the microchip is going to be the main form of payment. So everything is going digital, and then the microchip itself is a digital device, right? And then they're implementing the digital ID, which is about consolidating all of your information into one place, onto one database. And this is the stepping stone towards the microchip, where, with the consolidation of all of your information into one place, it will simply just be transferred onto the microchip. So that is why, the prophets of Yahweh Shemishai are observing, these digital systems that are coming in because of the prophecy at hand. So the prophecy itself, in Revelation 13 verse 16 says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." So the Mark of the Beast prophecy has to do with buying and selling, and we know that the microchip is the Mark of the Beast, right? Mark here at G5480 says Charagma, a stamp and imprinted mark, and that is what the microchip is. It is imprinted, right? It is put into the body, and it's put into the body by way of a sharp device that pierces the skin, which is at G5482 in the Greek, the karax, right? It says a pail or stake. So when you Google a stake, it's like, something that is sharp, like, the shape of a pen, pencil, or a needle, to pierce the skin. And the karax is the device used to administer the microchip. All right, so then it pierces the skin, and then it inserts the microchip in there, in the body. Okay, and the prophecy says that you won't be able to buy or sell. So we know the microchip, and we know how the microchip works, right? We have literally witnessed the microchip itself in action. People are already microchipped. People are already using the microchip for its intended purpose. Okay, people are microchipped and using it to, make purchases, use it to access buildings, cars, cabinets in their homes, all kinds of things, man. Okay, so the microchip itself, right? And so you can Google RFID microchip, or you can Google biometric microchip. I would suggest biometric microchip because of the overview that it gives, which is the correct overview. A biometric microchip is a tiny device, often an NFC or RFID chip, and NFC technology and RFID technology has developed very rapidly in the past years, that can be implanted under the skin to store personal data and act as a keyless access method. These chips can be used for a variety of applications, including contactless payment, securing building and vehicle access, and logging into computers. Okay, so how it works: implantation. The microchip, about the size of a grain of rice, is typically inserted under the skin between the thumb and index finger with a device similar to a syringe. So that syringe is the karax, and the microchip is the charagma. right? The cryogma is something physical. Functionality, it uses RFID technology and NFC technology to communicate wirelessly with a reader, enabling actions like tapping to pay or unlocking a door. All right. So common use is contactless payments, access control, and identification. Some systems can store personal data and in the future could be used for medical information. So the microchip, this biometric microchip, right? It, as it says, biometric, right? It will take your biometrics, it will be a part of it, your fingerprint, your eye scan, your facial scan, all of that. But then it also stores your information on it, right? As it says, identification, all of your identification and your medical identification and your financial information, right, is stored on it. So then, knowing the microchip is a mark of the beast. Seeing how it functions, just everything about it, we can then go back to this, and the prophet says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, right? So the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, the elite bankers, they have an agenda, which is a new world order, and at the forefront of it is their microchip. So the prophet says that he causeth all. So it's the ruling class of Esau, Edom. They are the so-called white people, and this is their kingdom. All right. So the banking elite, the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, they're going to be launching this. They're going to be making it mandatory worldwide. And this is Yahweh Shemishai controlling them to do this. All right. Because the Lord is in control. All right. So they're going to be making it mandatory worldwide. So then, knowing the microchip, knowing the prophecy, we look at what's going on around the world. All right. And we observe it. And so we observe the systems that are coming in. And so then we can see that this digital ID is a stepping stone. Okay. And it is very prominent in the world right now. All of these countries around the world are developing their central bank digital currency because the system is going digital, because the microchip is a digital device that is going to be making, the digital payments, right? Because your financial information is going to be stored on that digital ID, which is going to be transferred onto that microchip. Okay. And we can take a look at the digital ID proposed by the World Economic Forum, which shows us the digital ID and everything that is attached to it, which it does show us your medical information, your financial information, your social media information, government information, and accessing interacting with the government, phone information, everything is being stored on it. So knowing how the microchip works, looking at the digital ID, we make that connection, right? The digital ID is a stepping stone. It's consolidating all of that information right now, all right, heading towards the prophecy of the mark of the beast when it's going to become mandatory worldwide. They'll simply just transfer the digital ID onto it, all right? So, it's important to, understand, okay, all of this. Okay, so we understand the microchip, all right, what it does, what the prophecy says is going to happen. We know the systems that are being implemented, the digital ID, the central bank digital currency. So now we can get to, the article, okay? Or articles rather. So let's see. Right here, and this one is more focused on America because, regarding America, I have observed that all of the countries around the world have made the clear statement that they're developing central bank digital currencies and they're developing their digital identification system. But regarding America, they've been moving different, based on Bible prophecy. We know that they're going to be moving with the agenda, right? They have to, but they're moving in a different type of way. America has, for example, explicitly spoken against the CBDC, right? America, where I do believe they've signed in like some anti-CBDC law or something. There's no United States CBDC in development, right? But we know the agenda at hand. And all of these countries around the world are developing, a digital payment system and a digital identification system. But America appears to not really be doing that. But you have to look very closely. So You see, it would tell us that there's no CBDC being developed in America, right? And then Trump kicks crypto. Well, that was in 2020, January. Okay, so I'm pretty sure there was something about U.S. House folds CBDC ban into 2026 defense bill, and they have spoken about like a CBDC ban. But the point I'm making here, right, is that they're doing things in a more subtle way in America, right? Because they implemented the stablecoin by way of signing the Genius Act into law. And the stablecoin works as a form of digital payment at a 1-to-1 ratio to the US dollar. So it functions the same as a central bank digital currency. Okay. So then when it comes to the digital ID as well, America hasn't blatantly said that they're developing a digital ID. Instead, they're doing it in a very subtle way by implementing digital IDs in different parts of people's livelihoods and lives. Okay. And so I've noticed with the mobile ID, which the mobile IDs in America, and you don't really hear people talking about it like that. What I've seen is that it's just a part of people's lives, but the mobile ID is literally a digital ID. So you see how they sneak the system in without blatantly letting you know. But it's very curious to me, speaking as a man, why it is that America appears to be the only country that is moving in this type of way. As I said, all the other countries around the world say they're developing their central bank digital currency and they're developing their digital ID system. Okay. But, that's just something that I've observed that, while watching. But as time has gone on, right, things are becoming more obvious and more prominent. Okay. Because the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, they're making their move. They want to accomplish their goals. All right. So here it is, Arkansas Digital ID now available in Samsung Wallet. Okay. So IDEMIA Public Security North America has announced the integration of Arkansas Mobile ID. The mobile ID is a digital ID into Samsung Wallet in partnership with the Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration. Okay. So they are merging the Arkansas Mobile ID, which is a digital ID, into the Samsung Wallet, which is the Samsung Wallet is a mobile payment, which is, it's not a physical, you know what I'm saying? Like the mobile payment falls more in line with the way the digital payments work. You see what I'm saying? Because they're using what is a digital device to make the payments, right? And the microchip itself is a digital device too. It will just be a digital device stored into the body, right? So two things are happening here. They're further merging things together, right? Financials with identification by way of also this digital ID system, okay? And the second, actually, I just forgot, but that's okay. It may come back to me, the Lord allows, all right? But you can see what's happening, right? They're merging things together while implementing these systems, right? Because it's all going to be that all-for-one use, heading to, that microchip, right? So Arkansas using Samsung Galaxy devices can now store wallet, their state-issued mobile ID, which is a digital ID, directly into Samsung Wallet. This credential can be used to verify identity at TSA checkpoints in participating airports nationwide. All right, and let's not forget what was announced a few months ago, right? And I had to dive to find it, all right? But the new airport rules that are coming to America, new digital airport rules, how it works, digital biometric passports on phone, and this is becoming mandatory, man, where you'll have to have a digital passport in order to travel, and they're storing that digital passport onto your phone. All right, the phone is simply another stepping stone, right? As you can see with the phone, it's a device that they're using to store everything on it, from, the Samsung Pay with the mobile driver's license being merged together, but also just people's phones have everything stored on it. It's just the gradualism of it all, right? Getting people used to living in this type of way, but not only used to it, but relying on living in this type of way, making it very comfortable for them. Okay. So, let's not forget that this is coming, man, right? The new digital airport rules, which digital airports, your biometrics and everything, man. Okay.
Falling the biggest, pretty big step. Well, Clay, good morning to you. I'm wondering who's in control of all of this data?
Great question.
Who is going to be the one that keeps the safety of all our deeply personal facial recognition data safe that matches to our credentials? It is what people are calling the biggest shakeup in the airline industry in at least 50 years. Airlines and airports doing away over the next 3 years with the check-in process, as well as scanning a boarding pass. That'll all go away. A biometric digital travel credential will be created, or you could use your smartphone. It's going to show your face to a scanner when you enter the airport, and boom, you're in, just like Clay was saying. And this is, this digital travel credential will carry everything. It'll have your passport on it. It'll have your driver's license on it. It'll have your ticket on it. And it'll also understand your flight information to know if you're in the right...
Yeah, it's a part of the system, because going back to the digital ID, it shows you travel and mobility is going to be attached to your digital ID. So it is simply, then you can see the system transforming, man. Okay. So yeah, this Arkansas thing, they say to add a the mobile ID is accessed by tapping the device near a reader or scanning a QR code, right? Residents can also continue using the standalone Arkansas mobile ID app. To add a driver's license or state ID to Samsung Wallet, users should navigate to the Quick Access tab, tap the Add button, and select Digital IDs. Okay, this comes as Google publicly listed Arkansas as its 10th U.S. jurisdiction on October 6, supporting state mobile driver's license and digital ID in Google Wallet. You see? So they're implementing digital ID in America, just like how they implemented a central bank digital currency, which is just named stablecoin in America. So the prophecy is happening, man. And it's happening very quickly in America too. You just have to really observe what's going on, man. Okay, so that's this one here. Let's, look at the other one. Visa transforming digital payments with biometric authentication, right? Digital payments with biometric authentication, right? Automatically knowing the microchip, right? Knowing the prophecy, knowing the systems coming in, you automatically know what's going on, right? Visa transforming digital payments with biometric authentication is them, merging digital payments with biometrics, all right? Biometric microchip. Digital payments, passkeys, and biometric authentications are easing customer checkout friction, improving security, and transforming the shopping experience across the world. All right, because how they're going to sell this, and I'm pretty sure they're already selling it this way, is that they're saying with digital payments being made, with your biometrics being attached to it, there's no way that anybody can circumvent it, because your biometrics are completely unique. Completely unique. Everybody has a unique fingerprint. No two fingerprints are the same. So they're saying that this is making things more secure. Okay? So then it just talks about the situation of what they're doing, but the title of the article lets us know what it is. All right? It shows us the agenda that is happening. All right? So I did have this that I had up, Digital ID USA, because it will tell you Digital ID in the USA is not a single unified system, but a patchwork of state-level initiatives and federal technologies such as electronic chips in passports and mobile driver's licenses. See, available in wallets like Apple Wallet and Google Wallet. So it's not just, oh, this is a digital ID in America and this is what it is. No, they're implementing the digital ID in various different spaces in America, right? Getting people online onto the system without the people really realizing it. Okay? So it's very sneaky what is happening, but Yahweh Shemishah is letting, the world know and letting you Israelites know specifically what is going on and what time it is. Okay? Currently, a national digital ID does not exist, and existing options can be used in a limited number of places, but a growing number of states are developing their own digital versions of driver's licenses and ID cards. And it makes sense, right? The transforming the driver's license, which is perhaps the main form of identification, right? transforming that to make it digital, you know. You can see what this devil is doing, man. Current state of digital ID in the USA: mobile driver's licenses, electronic passports, okay? And that's what they have right now. But the agenda is at hand, man, and it's so clear to see. All right, and that's everything that I have for today regarding it. All right, but given all of this, we know what time it is, we know what's coming, the hour of temptation in Revelation 3 verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So the hour of temptation, which is going to be upon the entire world, the word here is oikomene in the Greek, which is the inhabited word world. So the prophecy is going to affect the entire world. All right. So the hour of temptation, though, you know, for us, the Israelites, will be, you know, and those of us that believe, it's going to be a test of our faith, right? Because the world is going to be in chaos and calamity, and we're going to be in the midst of great tribulation, Jacob's trouble. So famine and pestilence and all kinds of things are going to be happening. And then the devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, he's going to present to us, you know, present to the world, here's this microchip. And then if you don't have the microchip, you're not going to be able to be a part of society. That's where it's heading towards. All right. It's not just food. All right. It's you won't have access to anything that society has to offer. So you will be blocked out of financial services. All right. You will be blocked out of medical services, government services, everything. And it shows us, right? Going back to this digital ID where it shows us that everything is going to be stored on it, right? You won't have access to phone, right? You won't have access to social media. You probably won't even have access to the internet as well, because you will have to have a digital ID credentials attached to the microchip. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just going to be shut out. So this is where it's all heading towards, okay? And then the judgment, the warning from Yahweh Shemishai, Revelation 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Shemishai, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. But before that happens, the mark of the beast prophecy has to be fulfilled because of this very same judgment that I read. A portion of our people in America are going to be feeling the destruction. The scriptures refer to them as 2/3 in America. Okay, 1/3 is going to be saved and 2/3 are going to be destroyed, and 2/3 are going to be taking that microchip, man, our people. All right, they would not have repented to Yahweh Shemishai, right? So this is the warning from the Lord, man. Do not take the microchip and to repent and hope for salvation and hope for mercy. All right, this prophecy is very serious and it's moving very quickly, okay? By what is going on in the world. What happened the other day? In the UK, they said that the digital ID is now mandatory to work. And just a few days before that happened, I think it was Vietnam, that they blocked the residents of the country from their bank accounts unless they became a part of the digital identification system. So what is happening is that very draconian measures are actually being made right now, all right, where the wicked elite of Esau, Edom are just blatantly putting out the order, you need to just implement this and make it mandatory, right? These are the times that we're in. It's very serious. They're telling you, you can't work unless you have a digital ID. You're blocked out of your bank accounts because you don't have a digital ID. And then the rest of the countries around the world are going to be implementing it by whatever strategy they see fit. You know what I'm saying? But it speaks to the times that we're in. Okay? And the digital ID is just that stepping stone. And it's even showing us a preview because they're already saying with the digital ID that you can't work in the UK. So imagine when the mark of the beast, which is that microchip, when that prophecy comes to pass, man, it's so clear. You're going to be shut out from society if you don't participate in it by taking that microchip. Okay? But this is everything that is at hand, man, and we're very close. All right? So with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai by Shemakah Kodesh. Shalom.